Welcome, everybody, to Cinema Royale. I'm Travis Hobson of PunchDrunkCritics.com, and this week we are talking, you can see part of his face there, but you probably know who I'm talking about. It is Elvis. We're talking about Baz Luhrmann's latest film, an Elvis Presley biopic. Although, you know, if it's Baz Luhrmann, it ain't like a real biopic. It's like something else entirely. It's something all for himself. It's something new. Joining me to talk about it is my buddy, Julian Lytle. What up, Julian?
What's going on, Travis?
Not much.
Thanks for having me back. Thanks for having me back again.
Hell yeah, man. There's only a few people I want to talk to about this. I think you're a Baz Luhrmann fan like I am.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, everything he makes, I'll make sure I see.
I'm a big fan of Baz Luhrmann. Although it's interesting, the one Baz Luhrmann movie I don't really like was Australia. And then they came out with that news today that they're breaking it down into a 6-episode Hulu series.
Really?
Yeah, they're recutting it like they did. They're like, you know, like Hateful Eight and like Zack Snyder's Justice League.
Might have more stuff in it.
Yeah, Luhrmann's going to recut it into a 6-episode miniseries on Hulu, and it's going to be called Faraway Downs.
Oh, okay.
Different title.
I'm still gonna call it Australia though.
Yep.
I just liked it was just called Australia.
I kind of like that too, but now naming it after the ranch is different. But
yeah.
But I guess but I feel like the way he was describing it, it sounds like it's going to be. I mean, the way he's going to cut it is going to feel different. So I guess
I bet more people will see it because I know a lot of people didn't see Australia because it was long. And
I mean, it's 165 minutes long. I remember suffering through that movie because I really wasn't feeling it. But as I feel like as a broken down in episodes, it might actually be great. Yeah. So I mean, I'm very curious to see how that's going to go. But we're here to talk about his latest film, which is Elvis. Which stars Austin Butler as Elvis Presley. I think a breakout role for him. And it stars Tom Hanks as Colonel Tom Parker. Infamous Colonel Tom Parker.
Terrible man.
And you know, my thing, Julian, the thing that I took away from this right from the beginning is that, like I said in the intro, it's not like your typical biopic. It's not like your typical life to death biopic for anybody. It's a Baz Luhrmann style. And it's sort of like a rock and roll superhero movie, like a battle between good and evil, sort of, which I thought was really kind of cool the way he did it. Like you had the whole origin story, you had young Elvis kind of like almost like finding his powers between the church and like this juke joint, you know, where he's hearing these two different sounds of music coming together. And it's like he gets his powers from it almost in a sense. And then you got this evil Tom Hanks lurking in the background as the colonel waiting to take advantage of it. As a way of framing Elvis Presley, it was a pretty cool way that I don't think we'll ever see again.
Yeah, it was in a way. It's because a lot of people may know, but this movie makes it plain. Is that Elvis's favorite superhero was Captain Marvel Jr.
Yep.
AKA like Freddie Shazam, as he's called in the Shazam movies. Mm-hmm. But yeah, like black people are his lightning bolt. So he's struck by the power of black creativity. He becomes Elvis Presley.
Yeah, and this movie like really hones in on like that white fear of black culture.
Yes. Yeah, like Baz Luhrmann is taking, I think for me, what could be a figure that, especially for modern black people, is like, nah, I don't care about Elvis at all. And I think it wraps it in a way where it becomes like a conversation about younger, different generations taking it from black culture and making it part of the American tapestry. And like the music industry is terrible. It will destroy everyone.
Yeah.
Like in a certain way.
Yeah. No, I've totally feel with you on that one, man. There are some scenes in here where a lot of scenes where you see him hanging out with you know, like Kelvin Harrison plays B.B. King, which I thought was terrific casting. I like those scenes, him and Little Richard, the scenes where they were in that party together.
Yeah.
And I was the most jealous I've ever felt of anybody being in a party. I was like, I really want to be in that party. It was just, like, imagine being there in that party, like what that would be like. Yeah. You'd never stop telling that story.
When Elvis goes back to the black part of Memphis, it's like, oh, gotta go back to Beale Street.
Yeah.
I gotta tie back in.
It was like he had to go back and find himself in Black culture, which is interesting, at this time when he's like, he's been neutered in a sense.
Yeah.
The politicians are after him. His own manager is stifling him, and he has
gone to jail once. It was like, it's like, I was like, okay, this is an interesting way to frame the whole, especially early Elvis, because I know when I wrote my review, by the time we came around, like, it was only like the cartoonish, like, late 70s Elvis that was like, people dressed up as that Elvis, sort of like the young, vibrant, shaking hips, making old white folks go crazy. Elvis was far in the rear view mirror. So it was interesting how it kind of, even though the movie is long and it feels this length, the way it kind of feels like 3 different sections of his life. And I also love the fact that they just sped through the movies, because the movies was not good to me as a child and not good to me as an adult. Like, yeah. But it's
one of those people that you mentioned earlier, who I've never really had any real affinity for Elvis Presley. I just never really could feel him that way. I always appreciated what he like means and stuff like that, and I've known his story, but leave it to Luhrmann to like present it in a way that makes me want to like go out and get like Elvis. I mean, I think we forget that Luhrmann was the same guy who did the Get Down like a few years ago. Like the guy knows his stuff. He has an ear for this sound, this soul sound, the hip hop sound, which he incorporates a lot of in this movie. He has an ear for it and an obvious passion for it, but you don't expect him to infuse it in Elvis. I think people are going to be surprised by that.
Yeah, sometimes when I bring up the movie, certain people are like, Elvis, I don't know. I was like, yo, Great Gatsby was fire. I think you gotta just trust. You gotta trust it. And the way he does shoot it, the way like Austin Butler comes across, they make you get it, even if you still like, I'm still not gonna like go on the DSPs and like look up Elvis. But maybe I might want to watch that television special, because the way they framed that television special, I was like, dang, that joint did look, that is kind of fire. Like,
yeah. Talk about Austin Butler as Elvis. He's getting a lot of acclaim for it. I personally think it's clearly the best thing he's done in his career so far. But I think he really captures a certain kind of spirit for Elvis, not just Elvis the creative mind, the guy and the dreamer, but Elvis the family man, and then kind of the desperate Elvis too. That's the Elvis who's desperate to cling to the things that he loves and not lose it in the midst of all this fame. I think he's really tremendous here. What did you think of him? Yeah,
Austin Butler, I think, does a great job, because you really empathize with him the entire way. The way they frame his eyes and the way he emotes into the camera is really when it's just like, yo, like I'm really rocking with Elvis. It's like, it helps you get past any ideas you have about Elvis you come in with, and really like, oh, like he is not terrible. Like, you, by the end of the movie, you just feel sad for him. You understand like the way to present his journey. Like, man, he just want to get his mom out the hood. Like, you gotta, like, there's certain things you just gotta relate to.
Yeah.
He brings across the sex appeal. He wears the clothes amazingly well. The costume in this movie,
oh yeah,
crazy. If that's
the moves, he got the moves.
He got he did dance. He was standing doing the tippy toes thing. He was shaking. Yeah, and like once he was going into the older Elvis, like he was getting all the moments right. The sex appeal, the charisma, the sadness, the melancholy, everything about it tied together well. He clearly, like, I didn't really know what he did before this. I'm not gonna lie, I didn't look him up, but I'm like, he got a career after this. That's for sure.
Yeah, there's a really great moment that for him, I think it's maybe his best moment. It's a little bit older version of Elvis, and he's been down and out. Like the movie career's has basically gone away, and he has that big Christmas special on NBC, and he has he can either go along with what they want him to do, or be himself and do his thing. And it's like this great underdog moment, this great retribution story moment, where he gets to kind of makes the decision to be himself, and it like sets into gear like the final act of the movie. And it's just this great scene. I think Austin Butler like captures it perfectly.
Yeah,
because that could have been like super cheesy. A lot of this movie could have been super cheesy for him. I mean, it's Elvis Presley. He's one of the most mocked superstars in history for somebody who's so famous, but he's easy to caricature.
Yeah,
and I don't feel like he did that at all, like throughout this movie.
I agree, because it's right. It's like I say, like Elvis was a cartoon, and by the time you get through this movie, and I also think what works is that as a biopic, it ends the way every other biopic enters the final act, where like, oh, they get their stuff together, they come back, they have a new type of career, and then they end with like some words on the screen. But this is like when he finishes that, and he then goes into like what he wants to do, and like how it's like all taken away from him.
Yeah.
And the way he's able to cover that, especially like the scenes where he's like at the piano singing, and I was like, nah, they got it. Baz got it again. He got me.
I do feel like Baz was kind of trying to figure out a way to end it on the most respectful note possible. And I do think it kind of lingered a bit too long in that final act.
Mm-hmm.
But for the most part, I agree with you. Like it's not as if I didn't feel the emotional beats at the end. So I sure as hell did. What do you think of Tom Hanks' Colonel Tom Parker? Because I'll be honest, he's like the one thing for me that wasn't quite working for me. I felt like something about his performance was not clicking. Like I didn't like his accent. I didn't come off feeling much of anything for Tom Parker. And I know they want me to feel something for him.
Oh no, I hate him. Nah, he did a great job. I want to punch him in the face.
I hated Elvis's father more.
Because he's weak.
Because he's so weak.
He was so weak, but not like the carny nature of the Colonel Tom Parker and the all that, the smarminess is working through is like, yo, it's like one dose Vince McMahon, the look of Paul Bearer, like Dick Dastardly from a cartoon, like all that's in there. And the only problem is that when you look at his eyes, you see Tom Hanks.
Maybe that's
and you can't hate Tom Hanks because it's Tom Hanks and that's your guy. Like, that's my guy. It's like, I don't want to dislike you, but yo, the Colonel though, wring his neck. I was like, why don't you just cut the Colonel? You just shoot him, man. Go to jail, you come out, you know what I'm saying? You be straight, everybody will love you.
Yeah.
But nah, like, yeah, oh my God, the Colonel, oh my goodness. For me, he was successful.
Right.
He was really cartoonish. Like, he was a villain in a Captain Marvel Jr. comic.
Yeah.
But in real life. He like Captain Nazi in them. Like, oh, snap.
I do wish they could have given us more time with him and Elvis's family. Like, I wish we could have seen a little bit more. I know there's so much that it's hard to encapsulate everything.
Wait, his parents or like?
Actually more with Olivia DeJonge as Priscilla.
I think they spent enough time because that's a touchy subject.
It is touchy, and that's why he was
a child. And I get why it's like, yeah, let's kind of skate around this because it's like you really don't want to bring. Yeah, that's a bit. I was like, yo,
I could feel them skating around it though. Like that's the problem. That's the problem.
I agree, but I also understand why. Like, yeah, I get it.
Yeah. Overall, I mean, I think this is another successful film for Baz Luhrmann, and I'm hoping he does not make us wait forever for another movie again.
I know, man.
We waited. I was amazed when I looked at, because I love The Great Gatsby is my favorite, is my top 3 favorite books. I love every adaptation of it, even like the crappy ones like made for TV. Like I like it. Like I still like it. And he took it to another level with his. That shit was like 2010 or 11.
I don't even think you could top that joint. I ain't gonna lie. Like Like that's extravagance. Like it was.
It's yeah. I don't know if they'll ever like make it again after what he did with it, or it would be a very long time. But I don't. But that movie was like a decade ago. And
it was wild.
Yeah, it was crazy enough, And it's like, damn, it really has been that long, hasn't it? Like I know he's done a couple little things here and there, but
he did the Get Down, but that was a while ago,
right? And
that was like a different Netflix
directed like one episode of that.
Yeah. So long ago. Like, what have you been? Just been living life, I guess. Like, all right, like
that show was canceled too soon, by the way. But anyway,
don't get me started.
Yeah, I know. But I really hope he does not take another 10 years to do another movie. Let's just put it that way.
Maybe he'll get talked into making a superhero movie like everybody else is. Things.
Based off of this, he could do it.
Let him make Shazam 3. let's get that pop.
With all the characters that are in the Shazam movie, is there any reason why he couldn't go and take Freddie Freeman and do a movie?
I just want to see how he would handle Talkie Tony. A talking tiger? Let's go. In a suit?
Yeah.
That'd be the most. Come on, get me in a room with a PowerPoint. I would
see him do like a superhero movie and still incorporate all the music and all the stuff that he incorporates in all of his movies into a superhero movie, because we ain't really ever had that before. If anybody was going to give us like the kind of superhero movie that we've never seen before, it'd be Luhrmann.
That's for sure.
That would be sick, actually. If I was Warner Brothers Discovery, I'd be giving them a phone call.
Oh yeah, Disney. They could just say, "Hey, we got this character called Dazzler."
Right. That's perfect.
She rides roller skates. She makes light.
That would be awesome. Dazzler would be amazing. Dazzler would be amazing for Baz Luhrmann, yo. That would be tight. Now you got me thinking about
Give
it.
Give me the PowerPoint.
See it.
Give me the PowerPoint in the room. And I can make them believe.
Now I want to see that. Oh man, that would be awesome. All right, Julian, man. Julian, tell everybody where they can find your stuff at, man.
Most of my reviews are on adobe.com. I'm on all the social media is Julian Lytle, Lytle. And that's for the most part, that's it. Oh, I want to be at BlurCon doing a panel with my friend Substantial, where he plays beats, and I draw. And I think that's July 9th.
Nice. So, yeah. God, Jesus Christ. I don't really know if I'm going to be around for PortCon again this year. I hope so.
Con season is back. So
yeah, I know. Got Comic-Con next month, so I'm gearing up for that. It looks like everybody's going to be there. So.
Yeah. I'm envious of how you got flights that's not a fortune. I'm envious.
Just waiting it out, man. Waiting it out. Waiting it out from the ad flights. This lucked out. But anyway, this has been Cinema Royale. I'm Travis House, and that is Julian Lytle. You can find me every day at punchdrunkcritics.com. And you can find me on social media at Punchy Critic, and you can find Punch Drunk Critics there at PDC Movies. You can also see me on WETA Around Town and a bunch of other places as well. Julian, my man, thank you for coming in to talk Elvis. I really appreciate it. And everybody check out his stuff. Check him out on social media as well. All right, I will see you guys next time. Goodbye. Thanks for checking out the show. If you like what we're laying down, please subscribe to our channel and click the bell to receive notifications for all of our latest stuff.